You cannot recall a new form of life. Ernst Chargaff, 1972. That's one of the quotes Michael Crichton uses to open his 1990 thriller novel, Jurassic Park. This sci-fi adventure book paved the way for the 1993 blockbuster film Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, a film that inspired a generation of paleontologists and moviegoers with a deep fascination for dinosaurs and prehistoric life. For better or for worse, it also gave rise to a whole Jurassic Park movie series, the fifth installment of which, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, was just released this summer in 2018. Now, two of your pastime hosts were inspired by Jurassic Park as children, Matthew Bortz and myself, Adam Pritchard. Although, to be fair, we were already into dinosaurs at that point. I mean, we're always cool. We're always trendsetters, I think. Either way, the importance of the Jurassic series for the public perception of paleontology and natural history can't really be overstated. It's super, super important these days. And I know it's not particularly original for a paleontologist to give a hot take on the latest Jurassic Park movie, but I'm Adam Pritchard, and this is Pastime. Now, with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I didn't get the chance to see it with either of my other pastime hosts. In fact, I'm not going to be discussing it with a paleontologist or even a science historian. No, other than the pastime host, there's really only one person I could have this discussion with. I'd like you to meet Tommy Dembeck, good friend of mine from my days at McDaniel College, an IT professional, and just a huge fan of science fiction and fantasy in media. Tommy and I have been arguing back and forth about sci-fi for over 10 years now. Whether it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, Battlestar Galactica, or Jurassic Park, we always have something to discuss. And just after watching the movie, before we even left the parking lot, I set up my microphone and recorded our discussion. In true Jurassic Park fashion, in the front seat of the car, with the soft patter of rain on the windshield. And if you listen closely, you may hear ominous footsteps in the distance. Or not, I don't think I heard any. Well, thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for appreciating the wonder that is natural history, even in a movie that wasn't so wonderful.
It was kind of fun.
I liked this movie better than Jurassic World.
I can agree with you on this.
You agree?
I can agree with you on this.
That being said, I did not like Jurassic World. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom picks up where 2015's Jurassic World left off. The genetically engineered hybrid super dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, is dead. The Isla Nublar Jurassic World amusement park facility has been completely abandoned, with the dinosaurs seemingly getting free rein of the place. But it's not meant to last. A new natural disaster threatens to wipe them out completely. A massive volcano on Isla Nublar, something you'd hope the architects and engineers would have planned for in advance, is about to erupt and wipe out the living things on Isla Nublar. So our heroes from the first movie, Owen, Claire, and Blue the Velociraptor, team up with a mysterious corporation and their army of mercenaries to go to the island and rescue 11 species of prehistoric animals. Shock of all shocks, the rescue goes completely haywire, and our heroes must scramble to rescue the dinosaurs and uncover the truth behind the whole operation. For much of this review, we're going to be discussing the ideas and the science behind specific scenes, so there's going to be lots of spoilers for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. If that's something you don't want to hear, switch this off right now. On the other hand, if you enjoy this discussion, I posted the nearly unedited, full hour-plus long discussion on the Pastime website, so you can download that if you want. I edited just a tiny bit to make sure it's still family-friendly. The film opens on a dark and stormy night over the lagoon enclosure on Isla Nublar that once housed the giant mosasaur, a team of mysterious corporate employees who might be working for InGen? Not really sure. Some in a helicopter, some in a tiny submarine, to enter the lagoon and try and obtain a piece of the Indominus Rex remains. everyone in the first scenes were so well established. You really
That's
felt
the first
for
scene.
them.
No, it's.
I know.
It's the same. He's the gatekeeper. Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Hey, that was Joffrey. Joffrey was the gate. He raised the gate.
How dare you? They have Dr. Wu.
The guy who created the Indominus Rex.
They have what appears to be all the materials and everything that he used to create Indominus
We need
Rex.
that rib. We need that rib.
What's so special about the one rib? What's in there that he doesn't already have?
It was underwater.
It went through the.
Yeah, the mosasaur apparently either didn't eat the Indominus Rex at all, which was what a waste, or it nibbled it so finely, like a corn on the cob, pulling off all the muscle and
It
bone.
was in that containment thing for 3 years. Has to savor it.
I just like the idea of the mosasaur coming in and going. Just taking off tiny little chunks of it. So there's a perfect skeleton of Indominus Rex.
right? No way any body acid or anything decomposes those things.
Oh, and so I went to a Jurassic World in concert show.
I'm sorry,
Several weeks ago.
Concert?
The music of the movie was played by an orchestra. And the director was actually there and had a conversation with Matt Carano, curator of dinosaurs at the Smithsonian Museum
Was
of
this
Natural
Jurassic
History.
World 1 or 2?
This is the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't seen this before.
Oh, okay.
And Matt specifically pointed out, they described the first scene of this movie where the Indominus Rex's rib is collected, and Matt specifically pointed out that DNA is a pretty fragile molecule, and one of the absolute worst places to preserve DNA is underwater. The more humidity, the less likely it is you get DNA preservation. So even though the Indominus Rex has not been fossilized or anything, you have it in perhaps the single worst place to get good intact DNA. In what I can only describe as a perfect example of a reverse self-fulfilling prophecy, one of the guys operating the submarine declares that the mosasaur was trapped in its enclosure for so many years, it could not have survived. The guy was saying that the mosasaur was dead, which I'm kind of okay with because it's trapped in that lagoon.
Right.
Presumably there isn't, for an animal that, the largest real mosasaurs reached a length of about a full-on tractor trailer.
Oh, of course.
So they're huge, but they ain't that big.
Well, there's no way that they're saving. Either way, it's not a crocodile. It's not storing energy out on the side. That is an actively moving creature.
You know
at all
what's
points.
interesting? The mosasaurs are giant lizards.
I understand. I understand that.
No.
I'm not arguing
but
that point.
You could make the argument that if it's got a lizard's physiology, it could potentially slow things down enough.
So somehow,
Just say, surprise, the mosasaur isn't dead and eats everyone in the sub, but not before they manage to ship away the piece of Indominus Rex onto a magic helicopter
that could somehow fly in a very
that
heavy
flies
storm.
in a heavy storm and withstands a T-Rex eating its ladder, and then a mosasaur eating the rest of the ladder.
Ironically, a T-Rex could not hold down a helicopter, yet Captain America could do it in Civil War. Just remember that.
Captain America, more powerful
than a
than T-Rex.
Yes, according to Jurassic World.
That's another strike against the movie.
I don't know if
sad.
it's a strike.
It is.
It's just proving how
No,
awesome
it is.
Captain America. All right, fine.
You know, Matt Bortz, in a previous podcast, said his favorite American, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Our story then takes us to the United States Senate, where Jeff Goldblum's classic character, Dr. Ian Malcolm, the chaotician from the first two Jurassic Park movies, is testifying.
Everyone's favorite character that gets maybe 3 minutes of airtime on this show.
Yes.
Movie. Dr. Malcolm talking to
The Senate
the Senate Committee.
Yeah.
Which,
Gotta love, favorite thing about the Star Wars prequels, committee scene.
but yeah, he talks to a committee, blah blah blah. Almost they literally had him there for his own sound bites from the first movie.
It really was. All he said a couple times was like, there's a volcano that is on the island with the dinosaurs, and it's erupting, and we should let it erupt, and it's very sad, and it will kill the dinosaurs. We then meet Claire Deering, former Jurassic World executive and the woman that signed off on the creation of the horrible Indominus Rex, who is now leading the Dinosaur Protection Group, which has aims quite distinct from Dr. Malcolm's. Basically, they're on the opposite side as Dr. Malcolm. They're trying to get Congress and everybody to support rescuing the dinosaurs of Isla Nublar.
You know, Claire, business CEO woman of Jurassic World.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like the idea that Claire, after having actually spent time with dinosaurs in Jurassic World and realizing how bad she screwed things up by signing off on Indominus Rex, is working to atone for that.
That's true.
Like
That's true.
that is legitimately interesting. One member of her team is a new character, Zia Rodriguez, self-proclaimed paleo-veterinarian?
Paleo-veterinarian?
Yeah, a paleo-veterinarian.
Well, can we describe this job field?
I actually like her. Her name is Zia Rodriguez. She looks kind of like Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Right.
And she declares herself a paleo-veterinarian, and the person she's
admits immediately that she has never seen a dinosaur in her life.
And the person she's talking to on the phone about this clearly tells her that's not a real thing, which I think is hilarious.
Because it isn't.
Well, in Jurassic Park, we had vets on site.
Correct.
Dr. Harding working with the Triceratops. He apparently just blew off the whole thing after the first incident and just bailed.
Also, wouldn't that be an awesome college course? If
Paleo-veterinarian?
You would have everybody taking that course.
You would.
I wouldn't even be majoring in that. I would take that course.
But
if the guy said I survived Jurassic Park, I would be in that class.
And if there's a lab practical component of it, where you have to operate on a real dinosaur?
It would just be a balloon with a Triceratops head on it, and you have to place yourself up against it.
That's all it is. It's just loving the dinosaurs.
Exactly.
Well, she didn't have any practical experience because she didn't have any dinosaurs to operate on before.
That's true.
Except for all of the birds that look pretty much anatomically a lot like Blue. Actually, that's a good point. Zia should have been there should have been a scene at the beginning where she is dissecting an ostrich to get ready for this job because that's a dinosaur. And as always in Jurassic Park, there is a tech guy. Franklin Webb is our new plucky comic tech guy who's not particularly funny. Unfortunately for the DPG, the US government elects not to do anything to save the dinosaurs from the volcano. But immediately after, Claire receives a mysterious call from someone else who's interested in helping. So Claire gets this mysterious call and is whisked away to Lockwood Manor, where Mr. Benjamin Lockwood, played by James Cromwell, works. He is an old bearded dude with a cane with a little piece of amber on top of it. Does this sound familiar at all? He's apparently John Hammond's long-lost business partner.
We could have been brother.
Yeah? Hey, but yeah. No, that would be David Attenborough in a special cameo as Rock Hammond.
That would have been perfect.
Mr. Lockwood and his corporate associate friend, Mr. Mills, tell Claire that they are going to help save the dinosaurs. They've got the infrastructure. They've got a team of burly dudes with
not InGen
tranquilizer guns.
Totally not InGen.
Yeah. Who are, who've got boats and planes, and they're going to go to the island and save 11 species, going through Lockwood's rather cool dinosaur gallery with skeletons and dioramas.
That looks oddly like the first movie's visitor center.
Yeah, I like that though. But it wasn't exactly the same or anything. There's some really great mounts.
What used to be the posters on the wallpapers at the visitor centers were actually displays.
Yeah, they're nice little dioramas with some really obscure dinosaurs. There's a carnivorous dinosaur with a little shark fin on its back, or what looks like a shark fin, called Concavenator from the Cretaceous of Spain. Really cool animal.
Why didn't they have any of those running around?
I don't know. It's in the game. It's in Jurassic World Alive. Which makes me incredibly happy.
Oh, Lord. All right.
there's a little girl, Maisie, who's identified as Lockwood's granddaughter, running around the mansion.
Yep.
And she's kind of getting a sense of all the nefarious things happening, and she's going
She's got that Timmy, the human toast personality.
Yeah.
After some tepid romantic bickering, Claire manages to recruit Owen Grady, the raptor trainer from the first Jurassic World. He's interested in one thing, being able to save his old friend, Blue the Velociraptor. Our heroes fly to the island and meet up with the massive mercenary army.
Burly mercenaries, led by, I don't even remember his name. He's just like,
Not
I
Roland.
thought he was a cartoon character. I thought he was CG at first, just because he was just this drawling, southernish hunter. And it's around this time that we also see one of the nefarious things that the hunter does. He pries off the teeth of his victims.
Of a
and he
living dinosaur.
pulls off a tooth from a stegosaurus. And I gotta say, one thing that drives me crazy is that it's very clear, if you look at a stegosaurus skull, that is not what a stegosaurus' teeth look like. Like, just look at one.
You're right.
They pull out what looks like a human molar.
These aren't exact clones.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Wu.
Did he put human tooth DNA into the stegosaurs?
Some frog DNA.
Oh my.
Some frogs.
Actually, if there are any herpetologists out there that work on frogs that do have molars, please tell me. I want to know.
It's not even the things he hunts. It's the things
The
he's
things
captured.
his team catches.
Right.
Maybe he's just a hoarder. But we charge onto the island. We see there's a cute little scene, I think, where the paleo vet sees her first dinosaur. It's a beautiful brachiosaur walking through the visitors area of Jurassic World.
They corely played this off as the T-Rex showing up, and they don't. It's
that
not
big thundering
right,
footsteps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was
good.
actually nice. It was nice.
Because it's one of the good moments. I think some of the best moments
It actually
in Jurassic
builds
Park.
to later.
Yeah.
It does.
And some of the best moments in the Jurassic Park series are when people are just looking at dinosaurs thinking, wow, how awesome is that?
Well, that's what makes the first Jurassic Park, and even the sequels to those, pass by this. It's the argument being made of why you would do this.
Yeah.
It's the crux of what makes this particular genre, or not genre, this franchise work, is because deep down in the back of every fan's mind is, yes, please do this.
Yeah.
This, as everything shows that is not a great idea to do this, everybody really wants it.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, they want it.
It's always, in any general paleontologist interview, like, it's something that comes up, is like, how far are we from a Jurassic Park? And the answer is almost always, disappointingly, unless some big changes happen, it's not happening.
Right.
So
that mysticism, that enjoyment,
the wonder, yeah,
is never presented.
Not really.
It's never you can never recapture that. And it's sad that you can't, but this particular scene in general does a little bit
nice
for
little
that.
snippet of that.
It's nice. It makes me really think that they really put the heart into it. They could have tried something, but they don't.
But the mysticism and wonder are quickly interrupted as the mercenary convoy charges into the island to find all the dinosaurs. In a somewhat quiet scene, Owen manages to find his old friend Blue, but she is quickly shot and injured by the mercenaries. In a shock and horror twist, the mercenaries turn out to not have the best interest in the dinosaurs at heart. They tranquilize Owen in the woods, capture Zia the paleo vet and Blue the velociraptor, and abandon Claire and the tech guy in one of the classic Jurassic Park compounds.
It's a series of tubes.
A series of metal tubes that they go in,
with
and
wires in there.
Claire has to open up the system.
So they open up a tube.
Yep.
Right.
One of the series of tubes.
One of the many series of tubes, apparently, that was connected to the island and happened at that particular moment as a volcano is erupting. A dinosaur was outside the door to that tube.
Specifically, a baryonyx, a member of the Spinosauroid
Is that what
family.
it was?
Yeah, it's a it's a Spinosaurus relative that has.
Surprisingly, the trailers led me to believe that was going to be the evil raptor thing.
Oh, really? No.
I didn't realize.
Baryonyx is a legit dinosaur. They actually didn't go far. They got its head
largely right. It's got a very long, kind of snaggly tooth snout with some kinks in it. But it's cool to see.
You know what else they didn't get right?
Featured.
Lava falling on its head and it's scrapping it off.
And it's being fine. Like, oh, so hot. Ow.
Yeah, like as it reacted the same way as maybe some boiling water hits you on the skin. Well, again, lava that has burned through concrete. Land on the dinosaur's head. Okay, and it decides to put its head back through this multiple times.
It's hungry. It's apparently really, really hungry because it lasers in on Claire and Franklin and decides, lava be darned, I'm going to eat these people.
Do you understand how much the metabolism uses to fight burning lava? Apparently it has a killing factor of Wolverine on this guy. Who knew?
Well, actually, based on the baryonic skeleton, which, I mean, there's only one good baryonic skeleton from the early Cretaceous of the United Kingdom. And I don't think you can tell if it has a Wolverine healing factor.
Oh, well,
there's
apparently not.
Our heroes escape the woods and the compound, only to be set upon by pretty much every dinosaur on the island, charging away from the lava and the pyroclastic flow.
Every dinosaur on the island is
running
in horror
exact
at the exact same time. And they're running down the hill. I like the stampede scene just because of the sheer variety of dinosaurs.
Of course, you gotta get the toys out.
Yeah, you got Gallimimus, you got Apatosaurus, you got a newcomer, Sinoceratops, is the one with the single large nose horn and the big kind of curly horns. It has 2 holes in its frill in this movie, which the skull does. Almost certainly didn't have those in life.
You know what impressed me about the scene? I like that they really got, I feel like they got...
Carnotaurus.
Correct.
The one with the little
2 horns on there. He's got his tiny hands, like a little chicken hand.
That was gorgeous.
Okay.
And Carnotaurus is actually one of the few big carnivorous dinosaur specimens that has decent skin impressions associated with it. And based on that animal, it doesn't look like, based on that specific specimen, it doesn't look like Carnotaurus would have had feathers, at least not preserved, in any of those areas. So a big scaly Carnotaurus is probably one of the better reconstructions of a dinosaur in this movie.
Okay.
And Carnotaurus is from the Cretaceous. It's from the late
I was about
Cretaceous.
to say, you're going to get a lot of people angry at you on this podcast.
Well, the problem is the dating of the Carnotaurus site has changed through time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, just jumping it around.
Well, it happens. I mean,
extinction events, you can't do that.
Carnotaurus, Cretaceous, Argentina.
Okay, all right. Yeah. All right, so they get in the ball. They escape.
Yep, they flee the Carnotaurus, which happens to get its neck chomped by the T-Rex, who's just passing through and, has to save the people again.
This plot...
Trope?
Yeah, this would be
the
a
T-Rex
trope.
rescue trope?
The T-Rex rescue trope is a bit overdone in this movie, if I have to say.
But I kind of love that T-Rex just comes in, chomps Carnotaurus's neck, and then keeps running because the volcano is still exploding. I don't really know why the T-Rex chomped Carnotaurus at all and didn't just keep going.
Well, the people are in trouble.
And then we bring out an Allosaurus, which is great to see Allosaurus in the movie.
Juvenile Allosaurus. It's very specific about this.
It's true, but I think I gotta say, the Allosaurus' last real feature role in a film was in The Valley of Gwangi, which is a not all that great cowboy movie where a bunch of cowboys...
Let me stop you right there. You're talking about in a cowboy movie.
Yes.
With a serious look on your face.
Yes, The Valley of Gwangi.
Yeah.
It fights an elephant in a circus.
Really?
Yeah. And then I think it dies in a fire. I think we'll edit this part out.
Yeah.
Through an extremely improbable dive off a multi-story high cliff, our heroes sneak their way back onto the boat containing all of the captured dinosaurs and the mercenaries.
And another somewhat quiet moment takes place as soon as our heroes get on the boat and the doors are closing.
Some would say this is probably one of the most redeeming scene of this movie. I would not agree with that.
I would not
agree
so.
with
It's a good scene. It's a really well done little bit.
Yeah, it's well done. If anything, it's just well done because everything around it seems kind of silly at this point.
Looking back at the dock as it's engulfed by the gases from the volcano, everyone watches a lone Brachiosaurus kind of crying out at the departing boat. I don't know. I like to think that the Brachiosaurus isn't actually calling it the boat. It's actually trying to call for the rest of its herd and everything. But
no, I think it's calling for the boat. Hey,
hey! You don't have any macronarians on there. I mean, you're missing a major part of sauropod diversity.
It's true.
Seriously, can you let me on the boat? And then the Brachiosaurus is engulfed, and it is very sad.
Right.
With that, our villains are fully revealed.
Nefarious man, businessman, wants to do things nefariously. Little girl finds out, warns her grandfather about it. Grandfather tries to talk to nefarious man and gets murdered.
Yes. I actually like the fact that we're going to continue just calling him nefarious businessman.
And the villains are quite adamant that Blue the Velociraptor needs to survive. But she's going to require some veterinary care.
So, now we're back to the boat, where
Blue is dying.
Blue is dying. He is hemorrhaging she is hemorrhaging from a bullet in the leg.
Yep, travels from the chest to the leg or something.
Apparently.
Incredible. Blue's fate is not looking good at this point.
Nope, she is bleeding out. So, somehow, the dots get connected that we can use T-Rex blood. Because I guess everything
some kind
down...
of special shared factor.
Deep down inside, everyone has frog DNA.
Yeah, and they do specifically mention that among the dinosaurs captured from the park, Velociraptor and T-Rex are not particularly distantly related. They're actually probably separated by about 100 million years of evolution. Yeah. But Velociraptor is further apart from most of the other dinosaurs on the islands. They at least paid attention to some evolutionary trees. Although maybe, actually, Gallimimus might have been...
Hey,
wait a minute! Velociraptor is closer to birds than any of the other dinosaurs in the park, including like the flip-toothless ornithomimids, like Gallimimus. Velociraptor is still closer. So the best...
Looks more like a 6-foot turkey to me.
Claire and Owen climb into the
Cage.
T-Rex's... Yes, cage where it's just kind of hunkered down. It's fast asleep. They manage to jam a needle through the side of the flesh on its neck to extract some blood. And then, of course, it starts to wake up.
Yep.
And there's running and screaming and rolling around and...
It's actually a really good scene.
Yeah, it
actually works well.
Because it's so, like, the idea of being trapped in such a tiny space.
The top.
Yeah.
That it's interesting.
But the idea with being trapped in such a tiny space with an animal...
With that, the island rescue half of the movie ends. And part 2 begins.
Jurassic World Resident Evil is the second part.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise, our villains have once again decided to create a mega-hybrid super dinosaur, the Indoraptor.
Nefarious evil businessman has created a less impressive dinosaur than the first movie.
Yes.
The Indominus Raptor.
The Indoraptor.
Indoraptor, sorry.
Which I swear does... There's funny thing is, there's some dinosaurs. There's an Indosaurus and an Indosuchus that were named long ago. And the reason they're named Indo is not from Indominus or anything like that. It's because they're from India. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if someday someone ends up using Indoraptor.
Why do you ruin such cool names? Just
what do you mean?
With your
it's still Indosuchus sounds awesome.
It's true. It's true. I really want to say Insidious Raptor.
The Insidious Raptor. Let's just call it that for now.
Okay.
This is one of my biggest frustrations about both of these movies. Indoraptor and Indominus Rex get most of the screen time, most of the chases, most of the battles and everything like that, and it frustrates the heck out of me because there's so many amazing prehistoric animals that we've never seen on screen that would be very, very cool in epic action scenes, and they're making up dinosaurs. I understand how it fits in the plot, but it's just like...
Really? You understand that point? Because I don't.
Well, I understand they're stupid justification for, like, weaponizing dinosaurs or creating a cooler theme park attraction.
At this point, I feel like in the podcast you should throw in the Dr. Evil.
Ah, yes, the Indoraptor, the second deadliest dinosaur man ever created.
Also, they keep referring to this creature as a weapon for the modern age. That's why this franchise is so successful, is because I want to see modernized dinosaurs. In no way am I intrigued by the dinosaurs themselves.
The Indoraptor is probably half the size of the Indominus Rex, probably 20, 25 feet, which is a decent sized
and about
theropod.
as half as cool.
It's got long, skinny arms with ridiculously big claws that looks like it would have a hard time actually doing anything with.
It's cartoonishly.
Oh yeah, it's a cartoon dinosaur.
It is. If I was to draw a dinosaur for an anime, this would be the thing that would come out.
I wouldn't.
What would you call those little spine things coming out of the back of his head?
I would call them dermal projections, but that basically means pointy things on its skin. So it's kind of a cop out.
Although they make it to the mainland on the boat, Claire and Owen are captured as they make their way to the mansion.
What? Everyone up to this point also believes that they're dead on the island.
That's still. They don't even know to look for them.
Exactly. And yet somehow I recognize them. They're alive? Like what? Anyway.
To the mansion.
To the mansion.
Our heroes are placed in a holding cell next to a Triceratops and its mother.
And what better thing is there to do when you have a whole convoy filled with 11 species of dinosaurs, incredible diversity, incredible biological significance? You auction them off, of course, to the highest bidder. We see an Ankylosaurus and an Allosaurus sold to nefarious auction goers for a couple $1 million each. So, not much more than the best dinosaur fossils out there, and certainly less than this movie.
At this point, Owen and Claire decide it's time to get the heck out of here and free some dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. So Owen starts to formulate a plan, and he realizes he's hearing this loud thumping noise in the cell next to him.
Yep.
And he looks over in a convenient little window and sees a pachycephalosaur, one of the thick-headed bonehead dinosaurs. Specifically,
now, was this an adult-sized dinosaur?
Well, that's actually a really interesting question. So the animal, according to all the material I've seen in the media, is specifically supposed to be a Stygimoloch, which is a latest Cretaceous pachycephalosaur from Western North America that's particularly remarkable in the number of just like big spikes it has behind its dome. Yeah. The thing is...
Well, this thing's like only...
Oh yeah, it's not all that big. Yeah. It's about like 2
meters in length, probably about...
The thing that's about right size for a Stygimoloch based on the material we have. The thing is, there's not really a clear sense of whether that's an adult. It's possible that some of the bigger pachycephalosaurs we have, the largest pachycephalosaurs have skulls that are maybe 3 feet long. Pachycephalosaurs didn't get all that big as far as we know. Maybe 15 feet. Oh yeah, there could be like a supersized pachycephalosaur from...
Dino DNA.
Oh my lord. So either way, pachycephalosaurs, big thick heads, might have been used for bashing each other in the skull, kind of like bighorn rams in the modern day. But we actually don't really know what their thick heads are used for. But apparently in the movie, they're really good for smashing brick walls.
You know, they put a lot of effort in containing all these other dinosaurs and steel cages and everything. Boy, did they underestimate this guy.
Oh, yeah. So this Stygimoloch smashes through to Owen and Claire's cell, and then Owen teases it into smashing through the gated locked door. They run into Maisie, they team up with her.
Yep.
She tells them that Lockwood is dead and all the nefarious stuff is happening. And they also discover the nefarious businessman, and he tells them the dark truth about Maisie. That she's not Lockwood's granddaughter, but a clone of his dead daughter. And that the use of human cloning so bothered John Hammond that he cut all ties with Lockwood, which is why we've never heard of him in this before.
Which just opens up a litany of questions of what Lockwood's been doing. Because again, you could have a business venture just repairing people's body parts and everything. You have the genetic ability to clone a human.
After Owen and Stiggy Moloch completely devastate the auction, the insidious raptor manages to escape and begins to do what any mega hybrid super dinosaur does: slaughter everybody in sight.
Essentially, this movie has now become an alien movie, because every way this movie is shot from this point forward is an alien movie.
But Tech Guy and Zia the Paleo Vet help free Blue as well.
So then Blue escapes from the cage. There's gas pouring out somehow.
A hydrogen tank
is
was
leaking.
shot, and it's like
there's a
spewing hydrogen.
There's spewing hydrogen.
Blue smells it.
Blue smells it, starts running, and what is normally a generic action scene where you jump out the window to escape the explosion, they did it with a velociraptor. And I have to say, did not expect that. And I appreciate that I bear witness to it.
I think it was also hilarious that, like, this animal, which typically is, relatively graceful and everything like that, just, like, is
books it.
books it and, like, trips and just, like, rolls through this
the
wall.
window.
It's great.
It, like, lands on its head.
But in the process of this vast explosion happening, there is another gas leak that's created,
which
where
even more poisonous.
Very dangerous poisonous hydrogen cyanide is now pouring in to the dinosaur enclosures. Hey, the lysine contingency didn't work. They need some way to make sure these dinosaurs get taken out.
Wow, okay.
That's some lore right there.
Wow.
And with that, Blue the Velociraptor faces off against a mega hybrid super dinosaur, the Darth Sidious Raptor.
It's the classic from the last movie. Blue shows up.
Oh yeah, Blue shows
in
up
almost the exact same manner to save Owen.
From the genetically modified super dinosaur. Blue appears once again, smashes the insidious raptor
onto the glass
through the
part
ceiling.
Of the ceiling. They fall through the glass part of the ceiling.
Slow motion, tumbling around until they land.
I'm gonna try. Was it a Triceratops skull?
Yep. A little bit oversized, but an
because I saw
interesting
it
looking.
had two horns, but I didn't see a nose horn.
The nose horn's usually pretty small.
Okay.
Yep. And Blue basically thrusts the insidious raptor through the two large post-orbital horns of the Triceratops, which I got to admit, that's a really well-preserved skull, because those horns are usually a little bit crumbly, so I wouldn't necessarily... No. That was still really sharp.
The glue they used to put that thing together.
Oh, wow. I gotta get me some of that, because my fossils just aren't that stable.
So, our villain is dead?
Yes,
I guess you could say.
The insidious raptor
is gone.
Yep. After just not being around all that long. Maybe.
No, honestly,
half the movie is
the trailers in this movie really made me think this thing was going to be around a lot of the movie. No.
But with that, our heroes are faced with another challenge. The hydrogen cyanide gas is filling the chambers with the dinosaurs, threatening them once again with extinction. Claire makes the shocking decision, in light of the incredible danger that dinosaurs present to all of humankind, and decides not to open the chambers.
I agree with this.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly. Like, there have been documentaries on introducing a small change to the environment and the pure destruction that causes to the ecosystem.
But they open anyway! Maisie declares that the dinosaurs, being clones like her, have a right to exist. I might make a comment about sentience to her, but she's young. The dinosaurs stampede out from the mansion, threatening nefarious businessman.
They come upon nefarious businessman who hides under his van with his Indominus Rex sample, clutching it to him. All of the big horned dinosaurs and the armored dinosaurs and the sauropods crash by, and he gets out from under the van. And
brushes off his coat.
Yep, brushes off his coat as a Carnotaurus looms in the distance, walking towards him slowly. Slowly. And then T-Rex just shows up and eats him.
Yep, he dies the lawyer's death.
Yep. The lawyer's death.
And so, the 11 species of dinosaur, one's a pterosaur to be fair, are now unleashed on western North America for the first time in 66 million years.
So our heroes, leave the mansion. Owen comes across Blue, says, "Blue, stay with me." And then Blue just ignores him and runs off into the woods.
Blue looks at the cage that was, for some reason, out on the field. I don't know why that was there. And it's like, no. You know what? I honestly thought what was going to happen at this point was they were going to show Owen back at his cabin, putting it together, and Blue come out of the woods, and kind of just, hey, buddy, yeah. And just they decide to live together at that point or something like that. I thought it was going to be something really weird and something really cheesy like that. I would have just gotten a kick, because that would have just been that over-the-top situation thing.
Yeah.
The T-Rex in the cage, trying to get the blood out of him. That silly over-the-top, this is so ridiculous. But still, I'm willing to watch this.
But still, it's ridiculousness that's focused on the dinosaurs doing things and interacting with people.
You have a T-Rex busting into a zoo.
Yep, to roar at a lion.
I assume he's going to eat that lion, because obviously a mammal can't stand up to a reptile. I mean,
I'm biased.
If only there was some kind of mammal.
I've been told that I was biased.
That could possibly give an opinion on this.
I don't. He's not. Matt's not a very opinionated guy, so it's
I'm very happy. He just seems very much to let things go.
Yeah. No. He doesn't like an argument or anything like that.
No. He just wouldn't be the person I know if he was.
We see the mosasaur. About to consume a surfer.
Yes. Again. I would like to think that the United States Navy and Coast Guard would be on top of things.
That mosasaur is a kaiju at this point. It's as big as Godzilla, so...
Right! Again, we're talking about, a branch of the military that's sole purpose is to protect attacks from the water. And they're just going to let this thing go.
And over all of this, Dr. Malcolm again is testifying, saying that,
I don't know if that's another testimony.
I assume that's post, because after the release.
I assume at this point that Dr. Malcolm only owns one suit.
Well, yeah. To be fair, that I would believe. Or he owns exactly the same version of the same suit. And then he delivers that line that actually has been in all the trailers anyway, where he talks about how we've invited our destruction by unleashing these powers, and welcome, Jurassic World.
Man creates dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eat man. Women
inherits the earth. Yeah, that's what the third movie's about.
Which is obviously a reference, a prophecy to Maisie.
Maisie is the woman that will inherit the earth.
Obviously, Dr. Sadler had it all right from the beginning.
They have the setup now for a movie that is very different from Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
And has the potential to be an actually interesting ecology story. And
out of 11 species?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the other thing I was thinking about. Have you ever heard of parthenogenesis?
Yes. Well, the most famous one would be for the Komodo dragon.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the, it's a female itself can swim miles out into the ocean, land on an island, and create a whole population.
Yep. All by herself, without any fertilization from a male.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they want to go the invasive species route for Jurassic World, with the limited number of animals that escape...
Oh, you have to.
That's the way to do it.
You have to.
Is have, some
if
of the...
If they don't reference Komodo DNA in their system, I would be upset.
The thing that's striking is it's not just Komodo dragons that could do it. We actually don't have a good sense of how widespread parthenogenesis is. There are some species of lizard in the American Southwest that are entirely parthenogenic. That are all these weird clonal populations that keep going. Even with the limited amount of genetic diversity, for some reason they're able to just keep on trucking.
Interesting.
And then it happens also in sharks sometimes. It's happened in all kinds of different fish.
So outside of setting up for a really cool Jurassic World 3, Tommy and I both left this movie with some feelings about how it treated its biggest stars, the dinosaurs.
What were your feelings, I guess, at the end of this? At the end of this whole journey, what are you taking away from this?
As a paleontologist, as someone who just absolutely both loves dinosaurs and wants people to know more about dinosaurs, I'm excited by the idea that we had a bunch of types of animals thrown at us in this movie that, even though they didn't get much screen time, have not appeared on screen in a long, long time, if ever. Like Allosaurus, Sinoceratops, Carnotaurus, Stygimoloch. So I came away with that, and I also came away with hope that the third movie really takes it in a new direction, because...
Well, they have to. The only way that they take it back in the same direction is if the dinosaurs put the people in the park.
So what do you think? What do you come away with? I come away with...
You come away with optimism. What a shocker.
I do, because I love dinosaurs, and I love to see them get showcased, even if the movie, in the end...
I feel like the movie does them a disservice.
A disservice? Why?
Disservice. It's for the thing I brought up earlier. They don't capture that magnetism that draws you to the dinosaur. They really... All the parts that you want to last, they just speed through.
The wonder.
Lost World did it nice a little bit. You know, you got to see the dinosaurs crossing the lake and everything like that.
The Stegosaurs?
The Stegosaurs, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you just don't get enough of that time in this movie at all. You get this. This movie is dinosaurs in cages. See let's see how many times and different shots we can place a dinosaur locked up and depressed. Please release them. I've been watching nothing but confinement for the last hour. Yes, anything's gonna look great at the end of that. Coming into this as a Jurassic Park fan, it is a bit depressing.
But it's interesting. Like, what draws you to the dinosaurs is pretty much the same as what draws me as a scientist to the dinosaurs. It's that wonderment.
Is that? Well, of course.
It's the kind of just...
I feel like it's any fan of this series is what's drawn, is that wonderment drawn to this. But what happens at the end, it does set up for this crazy third movie.
I think it should take place...
This third movie could be ridiculously just different.
I think it should take place years in the future where, like, dinosaurs have...
How are you going to explain Chris Pratt looking as good as he does?
Just add, like, touch of gray. Blue has her own cane with amber on it because she's really getting up there.
I'm interested in... as a moviegoer, I'm actually kind of intrigued what will go through the movie. As a Jurassic Park fan and a fan of the franchise, I was really kind of depressed at it. I do agree with you. Seeing the dinosaurs again, it's why I came to this film to begin with. It was cool to see them again. It's cool that you get this, to get them up on screen. It's the same reason why I love Shark Week. It's, you want to instill and revive that interest and just try to encourage that out there. And yeah, I wish more things focused on the dinosaurs and everything to really bring up that interest.
I know this makes for a non-traditional pastime, but I really hoped you enjoyed our kind of coverage of Jurassic World. Certainly not our most educational episode, but hey, I tried to throw it in there, and I think that's a good thing for any scientist to do when you watch a prehistoric science fiction movie. Not necessarily to complain about all the scientific problems with the movie's content, but find those little teachable moments in each and every movie where you can talk about what we do know about what prehistoric life was like. And I think what's interesting for me, talking to someone who is not in the field of natural history, is the realization that Tommy enjoys Jurassic Park and these movies for pretty much the same reason all the scientists do. That feeling of amazement and wonder at the idea of getting to see these amazing extinct animals in the flesh. As I said earlier, if you want to get the full audio of my discussion with Tommy, it's going to be accessible on the post for this specific episode on pastime.org. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Pastime Paleo. Give us a review on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast there as well. I'm Adam Pritchard, and we'll see you next time on Pastime.